Hey there, guys. It is Rachel Feldman. I just wanted to say good evening. I decided to come and show just a little sneak peek of what the winter 2020 detox is all about. So, I'm not going to get into a long rant because if any of you know me, that's very easy for me to do because I get so excited about so many different ways to use this program. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to share my screen. And then as we're going through the different folders, I'm going to give some different tidbits of what, of course, I would do with this program, what some other coaches have done with programs like this, and also what are kind of these new things that we've put in that make it really exciting for you guys. So if you have bought our detoxes before, we have a basic package and we have a rockstar package. And the rockstar package has everything that you would need as far as the pre-marketing emails that can be used in your email list. They can also, of course, be like pulled apart and even used for content in social media posts. You have blogs, freebies, PowerPoints, kickoff and wrap up scripts. So let me show you the client folder. First, this is the Rockstar folder. Really exciting. We're having these freebies, 9 reasons to consider a detox, a 3-day immune boosting plan. So when we were putting these ideas together for the freebies, I thought, what are some of the biggest problems that we're facing when it comes into the winter? And everyone always thinks about boosting our immune. So that has like a 3-day little immune boosting reset meal. So you could even market it and say, get access to 3 days of meals or 3 days of recipes, boost your immune. Or you could even sell that as a low cost offer if you wanted. There are tons of people who will sell something like that for $5 or $7. But I would say if you're in the infancy of building your business, definitely build your list first. What's great about us launching these programs in November is it really gives you time in December and the beginning of January, of course, to set that stage. So if you are launching like the 3rd week of January, home run. If you're launching this as a group for New Year's and you're kicking off like January 1st, I would highly encourage you to start planting the seed and maybe even do a webinar possibly like the 2nd week of December so that you can get people asking questions through the holidays and really make that hard push like before New Year's and before your programs start, maybe the 1st week of January. You have these 2 PowerPoints. They are so beautiful. And we really thought of everything that your ideal client, wants. They want to have like, beautiful skin, and they want to not go through the winter and feel, exhausted and saggy. So we really wanted to hit at this element of improving immune, these different benefits of even, detoxing and supporting your system through the winter, which is more of a nourishing email. Sorry, I just saw the email. More of a nourishing detox. In the winter, when we eat seasonally, we're really focusing on the adrenals and the kidneys. And it's also why we bring in these beauty foods for winter, because often we get dry, our face gets dry, our skin gets dry. It's not uncommon that our clients experience things like constipation, an increase in eczema, skin issues, an increase in gut issues, because there needs to be that fluidity in our body, healthy colon, everything. And when we get dried out, there's not a lot of that fluidity for our body. So you doing a workshop like this and really showing people, this is the massive benefit of nourishing in the winter, and really helping to explain how all the seasons fit together. The winter is completely about not having these bags, because in the winter, there's a tendency for us to get dried out, but these foods that we eat really nourish the kidneys, nourish the adrenals. They help to filter out these toxins that can, get in the way of our kidney health. And that leads to poor filtration. I know that from experience, because I had edema for many years in my legs. I had edema in different places in my body, and that's a kidney issue. So when we really talk about bringing these amazing veggies in, it's such a winning point for explaining to people that a detox in the winter is not harsh. It's really about nourishing, so that you don't get into that place where you're exhausted, you feel foggy. And so you can actually thrive during the winter, keep your immune system strong, while so many other people are feeling a little blah. We also did 5 reasons to ditch sugar, knowing that a lot of your clients, of course, and people, it's maybe been just a tough time with the holidays. It can be a tough time really for people whenever they come into either Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then the holidays. I find that people are desperate. They're like, oh my God, I want to clean out my system. And so I always love starting this, the year with either like a clean eating program. And that's why we take the Exact Detox. And we also give you it in the clean eating version for those of you who, of course, are promoting a clean eating program. But I love this. It really talks about, what you can do, what to eat instead, and that aspect of getting off sugar to really then lead to somebody, of course, wanting to sign up and enroll in your detox. You have, let me just see. We also did the Canva. We also did the collage. You'll see, and we did this actually in a Canva template, because many of you guys, I know you all love to, change around your different elements, and you guys are loving Canva as much as we are. So we wanted to give you that collage, and also the ability to go and edit it so that you can really take full control of your business. You also have this amazing social media package. I can't believe it. We did Facebook ads, because even if you guys aren't running Facebook ads with a company, a lot of you are boosting events, or maybe you're even boosting, something like this. And so we just sat there and thought, okay, well, we'll put in the key information needed. We'll make these different stunning pictures that really catch your ideal clients, attention. And we'll also give them to you in 3 different versions. So you don't even have to think when you're marketing this. You have the Instagram. Fabulous. And guys, I know that this look works because it's something that I use as well. So that was one of the things that I really thought about, this season, and really helping you guys, is to give you something that I know is proven and that catches the eye of many people. I've always been told, wow, Rach, your ads they just stop, they stop me right there. And that's really what we're trying to do with our ideal client. So you have them even in IG stories. You can, of course, change this, because we are giving you the Canva templates. So when we go to our social media, you have your Canva templates right here, and you will see that we have in Facebook ads, IG story, IG ads, and we also did banners. I know that one of the things that we don't talk about enough, but I'm going to be talking about this, is making these great banners. Many of you are using platforms like Practice Better, Kartra, Kajabi, or you want to even promo this right on, your sales page on your website, like, from a Squarespace or Wix or WordPress. So we wanted you to have these ready-made banners. In addition, wanted you also to be able to have these great banners so that you can literally put this right on like the group, and swap out actually the banner for your group and start kind of showcasing this. And we also did a banner for Facebook events. So you can, of course, market in different places, not have to think, not have to spend that time, of course, going and making it. It's done for you. So in the social media package, you also have, of course, for those of you, and I know you guys you always say, I don't use Canva. It's totally okay. That's why we make it here for you. But guys, for those of you who don't use Canva, if you're hiring somebody to do your social media or you have your web designer, why have them charge you money when you have that Canva template right there? And when you access that Canva template from us, that goes right into your account, even if you have a free account. If you have a paid account, it's going to cost $12.95 a month, but you get access to all of their pro versions of photographs, which for many of you, you may be able to get great royalty-free images. I would say I've learned that Canva really makes it super duper easy for us. So that's what I do. Then we also gave you 14 days of social media. You will see this when we launch, of course, sorry, I was just reading it, and wanted to kind of like go right in and show you some of the different aspects on how you can market this. For some of you, you do specialize in gut and cleansing and detoxification. And so having images like this, chronic toxicity and leaky gut, sugar cravings, tongue scraping, it gives you these different aspects that you can have for 14 days, even before you open cart, so that you can, of course, balance these, meaning the ones that say join the program, you can do those, in the later part of that pre-push, and making it very easy, again, for you guys to just plug and play. Super duper easy. And also, again, giving you guys the Canva template so you can go in and you can edit any of these. We'll see right here, one click. And very simple, easy, very, very easy, guys. I encourage you to definitely get used to Canva. It's just such a great place, of course, for you to get empowered in your business so you don't always feel like you can't just make a marketing image if you needed to. That's the beautiful thing about our templates, is you can just you're duplicating them. It makes it so easy. So when you buy that package, you're also thinking, wow, I've got these Canva templates that I can do my December, promotion, and I can just duplicate it and put in some information. That's the beauty about using great content. We have the clean eating program. That's where we take everything and, of course, take out the word detox. And so you get that just right away. We just put that in your Dropbox, because I know from doing this for many years in my one-on-one and also in groups, some people get scared of that word detox. And I know that when I worked with a lot of young moms, they were really nervous. And so talking about clean eating was sometimes a really nice approach and something that didn't feel as scary. But I'm going to show you right here. This is not scary. Not scary at all. So you have your detox so beautifully like designed. We start with like, why are we seasonally detoxing? Signs you need a detox. And we go right into a lot of what I hear as the major pain points, the urgent reasons that people actually want to take charge of their health. So we know stress and fatigue, we've hit the leaky gut, fatigue, stress, in the microbiome, resetting the nervous system. And for those of you who don't specialize in gut, one of the reasons that we put this in is that's a hot topic word. So a lot of people know this because they are reading publications that are talking about this microbiome. They're hearing it on Dr. Oz, the Today Show. And so we really wanted to appeal to your ideal client who's hearing a lot of this information, but then going to further explain it. Really talk about resetting the nervous system. Very simple. Easy for those of you who are doing this in practice better or delivering your content even in a Facebook group, going through the detox for your clients, the transition phase. Foods to avoid, and then our transition foods. Super simple. And I always say, guys, even if you feel like it's not simple for your clients, make it simple. That is our job as coaches, is to demystify how difficult this is to actually show somebody, hey, it's not difficult to boost our immune. Like you're going to watch me, you're going to watch me use my favorite immune, zinc. When you join my program, this is exactly the kind of stuff that you're going to get from me, which is talking about immune and talking about leaky gut and talking about keeping kids healthy at home and talking about natural solutions. Really step into your program. I see a lot of coaches who spend a lot of time worrying about changing covers and doing so many different things, but then they don't spend enough time being that program. I've seen other coaches like, CC Weiss comes to mind, where they're like, oh, I'm making the simplest covers. And they spend a lot of time really building that excitement and talking about their program like a good 3 to 4 weeks before. The FAQ also is something that a lot of us don't talk about, like how to use it. But an FAQ is something that you can actually do an entire live on, or even a pre-marketing email that addresses each one of these questions, and also talks about how in this guide and the materials that you are providing, you're going to take your client, of course, step by step, even if they feel like they have some kind of health issue. And when I say health issue, I mean like a health issue, like somebody is like, you know what, I've been doing the detox and all of a sudden I'm constipated, or I'm doing the detox and this lemon water elixir is making me feel a little like I'm detoxing too much. It's all of those kind of things a lot of our clients are really looking for. And the more that you know your program and you can kind of think, where would somebody get hung up, the easier it's going to be for you to sell in any different format, whether it's a one-on-one that you are actually personalizing this and you're working with people to do allergy elimination, and then maybe to like gut, or then to, hormones, or any different, your next kind of step and path in your signature method. The second is maybe some of you are buying this to do it as like a founder's bonus for your membership, or using this as to kick off a short program leading into a longer, like 3-month, or that you're using the detox just even as a self-paced program or a group. There are so many ways that you can use a program. I mean, I've even seen coaches who, of course, do a masterclass and then add that masterclass in that program for a low cost option. So I think we've seen it all. We wanted to create this little schedule so that you had this individual handout. I love handouts personally when I'm working with people one-on-one. It allows somebody to solo focus on the handout. Secondly, I do love them in groups. If I'm doing a Facebook group, I would always say, here, guys, I'm going to upload the handouts into the file section. So I made getting the documents in that Facebook group really, really super easy. And it was always really fun to have those handouts so that people felt like less overwhelmed. And also I could focus on that one handout. If I'm doing a kickoff call or even a kickoff call, or like even doing low videos on like how to actually navigate going through the program, I would love to be like, and download your handout. I just feel like it makes people feel, and I know also from experience, they don't have to navigate a whole guide. They can simply, of course, go to these different handouts, and great for also talking points, especially if you are doing this in a group. I think it's always nice to, of course, like bring a person back to that handout so they can, of course, like look at it. Okay, hold on. We have our winter wellness teaching kit. A lot of you, of course, we have the winter wellness guide. I just know many of you are in an e-learning format, or maybe you are using, like I said, Practice Better and some of these different platforms where your client gets access to their material, but it's really nice for them to have maybe a little video. You can, of course, take this and convert it to a PDF. You could even, you can do so many different things with it, but I really envisioned this as being able to do a video like, hey, taking them through and guiding on these different ways that you can actually get yourself better. I just think it's really nice. I know people are so visual. So that's a really cool thing that we have. And then, of course, we have your kit right there. And we also have like this script. So I know a lot of you get nervous doing PowerPoint presentations, but what's really cool when you have it like this is even imagine yourself before you launch this, really sitting there and saying, for 14 days, how am I going to reverse engineer, talk about how cool this program is, show these features, show the benefits, and then be able to go through the materials, which leads me to this. I mean, this baby is amazing. You have a toxicity and stress guide. Remember, if the adrenals are weakened in the winter and the kidneys and that bladder health, one of the biggest things is we are stressing. And I think one of the things that I love about the winter is all about going back with him. It's getting grounded. And that's why like the bounty in the winter is so grounding. It's these root vegetables. It's, figs and dates. And, it's just about like going within. And I also think winter is a really nice time to like reflect on how has like the fall, which is, when you think about even the fall, there's like these trees and they're windy and they're going back and forth and there's so much transition and so much change. That's why we really focus on the lungs and large intestine. And so in that transition that we're going into winter, it's at that like third week of winter where it slows down and it quiets. Even if you live in an area like I do, which is, warm, it's just this time where things get a little quieter and that stillness. And so really being able to show your client and focus on these different elements, have your client take this toxicity quiz. That actually could even be on the front of your website, like, hey, takes this toxicity quiz, get access to this guide if you didn't want to include it in the program. But you can also, of course, even just use that as a baseline in your one-on-one. I used to, copy and paste handouts left and right because I wanted to create a system and a processes for my weekly contact with my one-on-one clients, in addition to knowing what I was delivering to them for our 2 sessions a month. So there are so many things that you guys can do with this. Of course, you can even have in a group. I always had people do interactive work. I felt that it created community in a group. We would always do affirmations in the first week, and getting our probiotics and our castor oil and our tongue scraper and all these fun things that go along with really taking care of our body when it comes to toxins. I know that oh so well. And you could, of course, like I did, extend your program to be a month long. One of our admins, Sarah Lawrence, she makes hers 21 days. And you can give that extra week and actually go over this quiz and this baseline and glowing from within. Clearly, it's the theme, hydrating. And you can, of course, even make little videos. If you're a person who loves videos, I love video tutorials. You don't have to show your face. You simply can shoot loom.com videos. You can do it on zoom.com, super duper easy. And then you have your recipes, really amazing recipes. I mean, I know I've said amazing 15 times, but when I think of how long it takes to create recipes and also to put all these elements together, I just think that this is a no-brainer to be able to add a program like this to your business, and also to be able to just have these amazing recipes that are at your fingertips. So somebody asked, are they all new recipes? And yes, we have all completely new recipes, snacks, everything, vegetarian, omnivore options. Super excited about it. Doing my last minute checks. You guys can see my eyes. I'm like, am I missing anything? Because we're still in the final checking stage where we are just going through a bunch of things and making sure everything's perfect. So let me see if there's anything else to show you. I think I've pretty much gone over a lot of the things that just wanted you guys to see. Let me just see if there's any questions. Somebody's saying list building is huge. How do you recommend people will see this with no list and a noisy social? That's actually a really great question. So one thing I've been saying to coaches is that we hear a lot of list build and put yourself out there. And I say that a lot as well. I think that we have to be a little more specific and strategic when we do think about list building, and break it down into 2 different compartments. Compartment 1 is, of course, people who know you, like you, trust you already. So they might be people that know that you are a practitioner, a wellness coach, a chiropractor, you do yoga, or Pilates or fitness, whatever your zone of genius is. And those are the people that they already believe that you are this great person. They're excited that you went through school. And so I feel one is to actually make a list of people that you can reach out to. That could be your own chiropractor, your own doctor, your own, wellness center, or places that are local to you where they know you, your own gym, health food store, and start to say to them now in the next 2 weeks or the first week of December, set yourself up for actually being able to pitch to these places that they may not be your BFF, but they definitely know you, and say to them, hey, this is what I do. I know that a lot of people are struggling with issue 1, 2, 3. I wanted to know if you would be open to having me, do a workshop for your students, or do a workshop for your clients, or if you wouldn't mind, or if you would be open for me to do a guest blog post on your website. Another one can also be, maybe you wouldn't mind if I, took over your newsletter for the week and sent a free guide. What you're doing right there is you're building on other people's lists. And when I first graduated from IM, I wrote down an entire list of people who were more friends and people that were excited that I had gone to school, people that I was hiring myself, and that was in column A. And then column B was a list of my friends. And then you can reach out to your friends and say, hey guys, I need your help. Would anybody be willing to try this program? I need 5 people. And in giving it to those 5 people, in exchange, you're going to get a testimonial. Say to them, I'm really excited. I'm also really nervous to start my business, and I need to build up some excitement about working with me, and also seeing that this is a positive transformation. That same strategy, of course, can be applied to going into a group and saying, I'm looking for 5 people that are struggling with skin issues, stress issues, toxicity, and get specific so that you start to build up that confidence, and you see that this program is proven. You see that people are going to like it, and you start to actually get those people to tag you, whether it's on your personal page, your business page. That's more on social media. And so you have those testimonials. In addition, you have people who are building that buzz. So that's going throughout the few weeks that you're actually like building up the excitement, and then making sure that, of course, before your launch date, that you have a list. And a list doesn't just get put together because we put out a freebie. A list gets really creative because we've nailed down the biggest urgent problems our ideal client is having. We're really clear on these sticking points that our ideal client, and these obstacles that our ideal client is constantly coming, up against. I'm all one for I would say the industry is noisier and it's more saturated. But the one thing I know from having really great content is that when you can take content and then really speak to your not only ideal clients' pain points, but it's like the very things that they are not hearing, because in the industry, these things are not being said. And I would say that's probably the most provocative thing that I did all the time in my business, is I sat there and I was like, this is not being taught, or I disagree with this, or clearly people aren't understanding this element of, leaky gut or food allergies or heavy metals or candida or parasites, all the things that I knew were these major issues for myself and most of the people that I knew. It was like this mystery. I don't know what I don't know why I'm feeling sick. And so I would constantly address that elephant in the room and make sure that the work that I was doing on my personal page by just like sharing my experiences, sharing my frustration, sharing my hope, was the same efforts that I was doing in, I would say, I don't even know if I was that strategic back then because I was so scared, but I would do videos every day or every other day, really on YouTube, making sure that my efforts were on a platform where Google had a great relationship with it. Let me just say that again. I know a lot of people thrive on IG. They thrive on Pinterest. They thrive on, there's a number of different platforms. Maybe it's TikTok now or LinkedIn. But the one thing I know about human behavior is that we go and we Google something. And that's why I made sure that my list building efforts were also on YouTube, because still to this day, and every person I ever polled, I would say, how did you find me? And they would be like, I happened to be Googling and your video on cranberry juice and urinary tract infections came up, or your video on poop, like inability to poop, constipation. And I just made sure that I was list building in places like that. Now, I will say this, nothing is going to just build a list right away. And that's why I encourage people to reach out to their community locally, reach out to people in your industry and start to build off their presence, get pitched to podcasts. There are so many places that we can build our authority. It just takes, one, confidence, two, being able to pitch to that podcast and say, hey, I would want to know if you wanted to have me on this podcast. I have this 3-day immune boosting reset. I can make this podcast about how toxins affect your immune, or how stress creates toxins and how that affects your gut, or how stress fuels into adrenal weakness and how that can affect your thyroid. I mean, whatever your specialty is, it's being able to build on the content. And that's unfortunately what I think a lot of coaches don't do, because we think that there's this very easy way to build a list. Last one is, I would just say, a lot of people wait for the perfect moment. If you have no list, there's a lot of people that have no list. I started with no list, but I started to make sure that I was sharing consistently on my personal page. I didn't put links on my personal page to buy things. I would often swap out my banner. And that's why you even saw us put in banners, because I thought, okay, if people are coming to your personal page, that's kind of, their little ding ding, like, hey, check this. I'm doing, click here if you want to learn more. And you can actually edit that picture on your Facebook personal page. But what I started to do was really share. And I would share without, and Gary Vee just said this the other day, I would share without thinking, oh, I need somebody to sign up right now. I didn't look at a social media post ever as, oh my God, I need this person to sign up. And, sometimes I get jacked in looking at likes, but then I sit there and say, that's not how you built your business reach. I looked at each social media post as an educational post with massive transparency about the things that I wish I would have known, and how I've crafted this wellness business, around the very pain and the struggles that I went through. And if it's not your own struggle, I guarantee you feel something in the world. And those who can pull that something, whether you're an introvert or you're like myself, scared of speaking in public, or it doesn't matter. It's that we have to really say, this isn't about me, and I'm not going to blame it on the algorithms. I'm not going to blame it on, Facebook or anything. I'm going to make sure that the content that I put out there for somebody they really want to digest, and it's not the content that everyone else is putting out there. And I don't mean like the done for you program content. I mean that you make sure the very things that are coming out of your mouth or what you're writing on a social media post or the live that you do or the video that you pre-record or the pitch that you are pitching to your local gym or your local chiropractor's office or the health center, that they see you as value and that their yes becomes an actual yes because you're bringing value to their existing business. And so that's why I always say to coaches, give yourself that 30 days to really marinate in your programs, understand like, how do you want to use this content and how can you really separate yourself from everyone else and really shine. So, and I would say the last thing is I am a huge advocate of Facebook business pages. They have a great relationship with Google. So when somebody is like intentionally searching, you'd be really surprised how often like recipes come up and people just love recipes. So I think it's also sitting there and testing out different kinds of content that you're putting out there to make sure that you actually can see like what people are excited for. And you can always in any social media or even on a post be like, hey, DM me. I have this gift. Or, hey, I've got a 3-day, moon boosting reset. Or I've got, this other free guide. Hey, shoot me a DM. The same thing as if you were creating a Facebook group. Facebook groups now have the option to have 3 membership questions. Make the group specific on the problem that you solve. Meaning it could say, the detox, like, let me just think, I'm off the cuff. It could be a group where you just are saying like, busy moms who have digestive issues or busy moms who have IBS or, corporate, a group for corporate wellness. My brain's a little fogged right now, but when you make that group specific, you'd be surprised that people search on Facebook. And so if you are using social media, step back from the overwhelm and actually think of human behavior. Where are people searching? Where do you search? And if you don't go on Facebook and you don't go on any social media platforms, and I highly encourage you, of course, to be pitching your services always to people offline, making connections. LinkedIn is a great place for that. But I always say, as they would say in real estate, work your backyard. Really, like, I can't tell you how many places I have connected with locally, still have local connections, and did a bunch of programs in JV partnerships where that JV means that you're doing a joint venture with them. And so there's often like a 70-30 split if you're actually bringing the program. And so there's a lot of different ways I feel to coach. I think the biggest is that we have to often get out of our own way and see which is the platform that most agrees with our medium, with our way of communicating. Somebody's saying Facebook won't allow access. Do you have this limited to a certain group? I don't think I have access limited to a certain group, but I would say we do have a free group. If you are, by any chance, you can't find that right after, I will pop it below. I hope that was helpful, guys. There are so many things that you can do with our content. There's so many things that you can do. It doesn't even have to be a group program. Many of you are like myself, or you build a one-on-one business, or you want to. This allows you to have your irresistible package. So when you get somebody on a discovery call, or you're talking about, your signature method, that actually what you're giving people. And you also can even make it really easy for your client to follow each of these steps by, sending them the handouts and the recipes and all that fabulous stuff, like week by week. And so it doesn't even have to be in a platform. It can just be the good old one-on-one coaching by sharing with a Dropbox. And I will just say this. I've heard a lot of coaches say tech is taking them down. And I see a lot of people, course creators, high-level entrepreneurs who send an entire roadmap in Google Drive. You can very easily have somebody buy your program or join even a membership and break it down on a Google Drive so that you say start here, then go here and link those Dropboxes with the PDFs there. So guys, keep it really simple. Remember, at the end of the day, we're here to help people. We're here to get our message, our very distinct message out to the person who is truly our ideal client. And so I really encourage you, if something that you're doing right now isn't working, switch it up, and never forget to also have that connection with people offline, that connection where you're actually reaching out to people and you're forming relationships, because these are the very people that could, of course, be huge for your referrals. Guys, I hope you have a great one. I will see you guys later. Big kisses, and let us know if you have any questions. Oh, so glad that helped. I know list building can be a little confusing, but I encourage you, if you're stuck in list building, sit there and write down 12 of the most urgent pain points, not just, oh, I want to lose, I want to end my sugar cravings. Get really specific on the emotional, the physical pain. Get really specific on, if your ideal client doesn't stop those problems, end this chaos, what will they start to lose in 6 months, a year? Play out what their life will be like so you're really clear in your vision of your ideal client. And that is one of the most important things when we're building our business. We can't just build it. We really need to see it. We need to see these distinct people with these problems. We need to be really clear what are the problems that they have so that we can address that in our marketing, in our social media posts, hence making our list building efforts actually work. Guys, it was good to be with you tonight. It's a little unusual. I'm more of an early morning girl. But I was so excited to kind of show you where we're at with this detox, and that will be launching in just 3 days. So have a beautiful one. If you guys have any questions, let us know. We do have so many great freebies, challenges, and challenges don't also have to be live. They can be a great list builder on the front of your site. So deep breaths. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any additional questions. And of course, your questions will be answered in a live. Have a